Welcome to Texas Honda Channel. This is part 12 of K-swapping my Mazda B2300. We are making some serious progress, so definitely hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It helps tremendously. We got the K-powered intake manifold for rear-wheel drive K-swap setups. I have a review of this over on More Motorsports. Definitely check the link in the description. Go give that a view. I greatly appreciate you guys' feedback, so let me know what you think. Before we get started, I have to explain a few things. So I will be grinding on this part right here. So I have the intake ports covered up. The reason I have to grind on this is the factory intake manifold even hits this spot when trying to remove it, and it's kind of a tight squeeze. Well, that's even tighter of a squeeze now that we've got this massive intake manifold, so I have to do it before I can actually fully install this. Another thing I wanted to point out is my awesome Max Peating Rod's throttle body. It's a really nice construction and design. It won't fit on here, unfortunately. I can get two of the bolts to line up perfect, but the other two are staggered off. This manifold is designed to hold a B18 or a D-Series throttle body, so I will have to get a D-Series or B-Series throttle body for this, unfortunately. But for the sake of how it'll look, I will bolt it up and we'll see how it looks on there. I did get a computer. The wiring harness is ordered along with the adapter harness to adapt it to this truck. I got the exhaust system stuff ordered so we can get that on there. The mount brackets are off to Sinformant so he can re-weld my crappy welds up. But we're making some serious progress, guys. I'm super excited. This thing will be running in the near future if God is willing. So please hit that like button, share the video around, and drop a comment. It helps tremendously. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started grinding on that, and we'll go over more once that's grinded down. So here we go. Okay, so I'm basically just gonna be taking off some of this excess here. I can't go too far because a bolt goes through here, but I will get as much knocked down as I can. So just using a flapper wheel to grind it down. All right, so that should be all we need. We'll go ahead and remove some of this tape, all this tape. I will be putting a brand new gasket on, so don't worry about all that. Hey, there it is. Definitely goes in now. All we gotta do now is just put some bolts on. We should be good to go. Awesome. I went ahead and put the throttle on so you can see how it's going to look. Perfect clearance. We don't have to worry about the belt rubbing. This sensor here I don't have to worry about because this is going to be a B-Series throttle, which will have one of the round connector plugs, and it won't be that close right here because it's not going to be facing it. We got the map sensor for the K-Series, bolts to the intake manifold. Now we've got the fuel rail, which this is just the factory one. I will be upgrading later, but I just want to show you. This will bolt perfectly right there with the factory injectors that we had cleaned and flow tested, made sure they're good. Like I said, a lot of this will be upgraded in the future as well. This right here is the fuel line from the factory setup, which is good because this can just bolt right over here, and it doesn't have a return style tank on the Mazda B2300. So one line in, one line out type situation, just like the K-Series. So that'll work out great. The fuel pressure is a little bit higher on the Mazda B2300 at like 60 to 70 PSI. Where this is around 45 PSI, 50, which that'll just give it more injector, so it won't be too big of a deal. But yeah, definitely making progress. Also, I wanted to show you, this is the K24 throttle cable. It bolted right up in here. I had to drill 2 holes from the Accord. I had to drill 2 holes into the firewall, which was really easy. Put some 10mm bolts through it, and the other end hooked right up to the factory pedal. So I will be able to have a throttle cable on here for the K series. So this will just loop around, and I will make a bracket that comes over here, and the throttle cable will be officially ran. And it's pretty much that simple on this K-swap. I didn't do video of installing the throttle cable. It's a pretty simple thing to do, but yeah, definitely making progress for sure. So as you can see, it looks really nice in there, and this intake manifold only took a little bit of modification on that to get in, so definitely worth every penny. This was a very expensive manifold, at least for me. I find $500 manifolds to be expensive. There may be people out there laughing at me right now, but I'm just not made of money, so it is what it is. But yeah, once the mount brackets get back in, we'll mount them back on there. Right now I just have pieces of steel kind of holding it in place. But those will go back on once they're back, and then we can get the wiring harness and computer and all that stuff in. I still need a K-tuned immobilizer bypass to get this CRV computer to work. So this is from a 2003 CRV, and I was looking at K-Pro version 4 actually is compatible with automatic or manual CRV computers for swaps particular like this. As long as they're not running like the Honda front-wheel drive transmission or something like that is what they said, which I'm not. I'm running an RX-8, so it'll be fine. There are 2 wires on this RX-8 manual transmission that will run to the pre-existing wiring harness. It's real simple. They're color-coded. I have the old transmission so I can see what color they are, and that will hook up for the reverse lights, so I'll have reverse lights. The starter wire runs out of that same harness, so I'll have my factory key turn starter to be able to power this up. So awesome. But yeah, it's definitely making progress, and I'm super happy that all of this has clearance. I don't use this part right here on the throttle anyways. This is just for the coolant to keep the throttle warmed up, so whenever it's cold outside your throttle won't freeze. It doesn't really get that cold here in Texas typically, so I don't ever have that hooked up. It's just more heat in the intake manifold. But definitely happy about this. It's fitting and it's going good. I still have to get some grommets, and then I can throw those injectors in and get the fuel rail hooked up to that fuel line that runs right here. I'll just basically run a fuel pressure line, and that's it. I have the starter right here, and I got it bolted all in. Everything's fitting there. Got the clutch slave cylinder back there. It's all hooked up. The only thing I have to do is run the line to the clutch pedal, which once I figure all that out, I will definitely keep you guys updated on that as well. And as I keep going, I'm going to keep you guys updated, and once it is all together and it's running and it's going, I will have a finalized video of everything I learned and how to do it as best as I can to give you the details, because no one's done this, so I want to have a video out there so that people will know how to do it if they want to in their Ford Ranger or Mazda B series truck. But super happy with the fitment. K-Power definitely makes a really nice intake manifold, and it looks pretty good there. So still have a few things to get, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. I can see this thing starting to finally take form. So definitely stay tuned. We have more coming. Wiring harness, computer, exhaust, all the other things that I ordered will be here soon. But greatly appreciate you guys' support, hitting that like button and sharing the videos around. This is going to be a sick little truck whenever I get it going. So definitely stay tuned. Turn that bell icon on to get notified of every upload, and definitely come back for more. But we'll go ahead and get off here. I'll see you guys in the next video. As I like to say, God bless, stay safe, stay awesome.